Hi boys and girls, Miss Betsy here, filling in for Grandma Sheila again today. I thought I would share with you a story that happened when I was a little girl. I grew up in a farmhouse out in the country surrounded by wheat fields. Our neighbors, the Millers, were an older couple and they farmed the land all around our house. And they used to come down and pick up my brothers and I, and they would take us out on the combine. We got to go ride in the combine while they were harvesting the wheat. And Mr. Miller taught us how if you took some of the kernels of wheat and chewed them, it would make like a gum. So we had fun riding on the combine and chewing wheat gum. Then part of the time we would ride with Mrs. Miller in the grain truck. While we were waiting for the truck to be filled up, she would read us stories. She actually read us several books that way. We had a lot of fun with them, and it was just really fun growing up out in the country. Now, behind the wheat field that was beyond our house, there was a river that ran. And one weekend, my dad decided that he wanted to take me on a little rafting trip. Mom and Dad were always taking us on fun little outings like that, out in nature, hiking and rafting or going to the reservoir or whatever it was. So Mom was going to take us upriver and drop us off at a bridge. And then she would drive downriver and meet us. We would float down and meet her at another bridge. So she dropped Dad and I off, and we had our raft and our oars, and we had our life jackets on. Now, always remember to wear your life jacket when you're doing water things. It's important to stay safe. Well, we took off down the river, and we were having a wonderful time, looking at the scenery and seeing things we hadn't seen. We'd never been along that part of the river before. As we were riding along, we came down around a corner, and all of a sudden, we saw there was a tree that had fallen across the river, and it was just a little bit above the water. I was small enough that me and the boat just went underneath the tree. But unfortunately, my dad, who was much taller, was hit in the head by the tree. And when that tree hit him in the head, and we were going fast enough, that it actually knocked him out of the back of the raft. Instinctively, Dad reached out and he grabbed me. And he pulled me with him, and we both ended up in the water, flailing around. But Dad was able to swim to shore and pull me with him, and so we were actually all right. Just a little frightened and startled and very wet, but we were safe. Now, unfortunately, then we had to walk all the way home because our boat kept going on down the river without us. So we took off walking. Well, what do you think my mom felt when she was waiting for us to come down the river so she could pick us up and hear about our wonderful adventure, when here came an empty raft? Oh, I can only imagine. As a mom now, I would have been terrified knowing that something had happened to my husband and my daughter. Well, eventually she decided to come back to the house, probably to call for help or something. But by then, we had made it home. We had trekked all the way home, and we were there, so then she knew that we were okay. Well, later on, Dad decided to go walk along the river, the area that we had started to raft down. He had never been along that part of the river before, and so he went back to look. And the interesting thing is that he discovered that just around the bend, from where that tree had fallen across the river, there was a large rock outcropping that stuck out over the river. And the water was being sucked down underneath that rock, kind of like a whirlpool thing. And he realized if we had kept floating in our raft around the corner towards that rock, the water would have sucked us down underneath that rock, and it would have drowned us. And he realized that actually what had happened by us being knocked into the river was what saved us. There's a big lesson in this story, guys. Sometimes things happen in life that we don't like. They hurt, or they scare us, or they're no fun. But maybe those are the very things that God is able to use to save us from ultimate destruction. I'm thankful that God let that tree knock us out of the boat, even though I was really, really scared. It's what saved us, and I'm still alive today to share with you the story. God is good, and He takes care of us no matter what. And remember, your angels are always with you. Have a wonderful day, guys. See you next time. Bye.